clouds today, at least the sun's still out. And what did I read today? How about this one? You've read all that news in recent times where for whatever reason, people were saying there's too much drones being used to drop stuff into prisons. How about this one where they actually show, I guess, a picture of what they attach? What would you think this is if you saw this? This one says, Montreal man facing charges following contraband drone drop at Millhaven. The Ontario Provincial Police says a 40-year-old man from Montreal is facing charges following a suspected drone drop of unauthorized items at the Millhaven institution. Police received information on Thursday reporting that a drone drop had happened at the facility where a cellular phone, cannabis, hash, and tobacco were recovered, the OPP said in a news release on Sunday. The man was arrested during a traffic stop the same day at around 9 p.m. on Bath Road just east of Bath, police said, noting that he was in a rental car with a Quebec license plate. Search of the vehicle revealed 5 cellular phones and a receipt was found detailing the purchase of SIM cards and activations of SIM cards, reads the release. And what was the punishment? It says the suspect has been charged with distribution of over 30 grams of dried cannabis, mischief under $5,000, conspiracy to commit indictable offense, and delivers contraband to or receives contraband from an inmate. He is scheduled to appear at the Ontario Court of Justice Greater Napanee. Police did not provide a date. That's kind of interesting there with all that punishment and so forth. There's no actual, let's just say, fine or something like that for flying the drone in that way. That's kind of interesting to think about. Are they just treating it as a quote regular tool in this case? Too bad they didn't actually show what type of drone they were using anyways in terms of trying to transport this. It has to be an improvised solution just by the looks of how they wrap this thing up anyways. And in terms of, I guess, drone usage and so forth, I was watching this where apparently there's this football league that actually uses drones as part of their replays. Like this one says, well, Kevin Austin Jr. outran everyone except the drone cam. Peep how he looks right at the camera at the end. Yeah, so I guess they're treating the drone in this case here as kind of like a regular camera perspective, and it makes me wonder, do you prefer it? If high action, let's just say sports games like these use drones to capture the perspectives, and something like this that's more, I guess, fast-paced, I would suppose people would prefer these types of shots from time to time anyways. And it makes me wonder too, to get these kind of shots, I've seen people create videos where they actually put a camera into the ball itself, like even things like a football. So it makes me wonder if people could actually do that and whether or not it would be practical anyways. And there's been so much news recently, it seems like, where they're saying, oh, there's gonna be another, I guess, virus outbreak and so forth. This one is what? Things like the bird flu. This one says, US CDC asks states to make worker protective gear available to combat bird flu. And apparently they're saying it's spreading to things like cattle and all that. It says here, the US Centers for Disease Control and Preventative said on Monday it had met with state health officials and asked them to facilitate distribution of protective gear for farm workers to avoid infection against H5N1 bird flu. The CDC said it asked state health departments to work with their agriculture department counterparts and partners in communities to prioritize the distribution of personal protective equipment from their stockpile to workers on farms where dairy herds have been known to be infected with bird flu. Principal Deputy Director Nirav Shah said, while the risk to the U.S. public remains low, states should act to protect people with work exposures, including people on dairy farms, poultry farms, and in slaughterhouses. The CDC urged farmers, workers, and emergency responders last week to wear appropriate protective gear when in direct or close physical contact with sick birds, livestock, feces, raw milk, or contaminated surfaces. I was actually reading before too, people were saying they're worried about things like the milk that they drink, and it says preliminary tests of milk, baby formula, and other dairy products suggest they are safe to consume according to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Does this make you worried in terms of, I guess, consuming things like milk products and all that? I know some people there even said they're worried about things like the beef and all that, but I'm just thinking for this type of, I guess, quote, virus or whatever, technically if you cook the beef at a high enough temperature and all that, it should kill it, correct? Like any type of viruses or bacteria and so forth, that's what I would think anyways. But is this gonna be another, I guess, shutdown and everything like that? I wouldn't rule it out personally, just based on what has happened in the past. Good?
This is a breed.
Crane? No, it's a blue heron.
Blue heron?
Yeah.
Oh.
right. See you guys later.